G'day mates, let me tell you about a place. A place so unique, so quintessentially Australian, that it almost feels like a scene out of a quirky movie. A place right in the heart of Australia, nestled in the vast red desert, surrounded by rugged landscapes and endless horizons. It's called Alice Springs, but trust me, it's unlike any Alice you ever heard of. This isn't your typical small town. It's a place where the extraordinary is just part of the everyday. See, Alice Springs is where the Outback throws a party. The locals here know how to celebrate life, and they do it with a flair that's as wild as the landscape itself, and everyone's invited, especially the wildlife. Here, the boundary between the natural world and human habitation is delightfully blurred. It's not unusual to see a kangaroo hopping down the main street, checking out the shop windows. Imagine doing your shopping with a kangaroo casually browsing alongside you, or an emu strolling through the park like it owns the place. These majestic birds wander around with an air of confidence that's both amusing and endearing, which, let's be honest, it probably thinks it does. And who can blame them? In Alice Springs, the wildlife truly rules the roost. But lately this wild west of a town has been getting, well, a bit too wild. The once charming chaos is starting to feel a bit overwhelming. The kind of wild that makes you want to grab your Akubra hat and run for cover. It's as if the town itself is testing the limits of what it means to live on the edge. It's enough to make a bloke wonder, is Alice Springs losing the plot? Or is it just embracing its true untamed nature? Either way, one thing's for sure, life here is never boring. Alice Springs is facing a real dingo of a problem. And it's not just the dingoes, though they are a mischievous bunch. It seems like everyone and everything is running amok. The streets are overflowing with rubbish, the pubs are packed with thirsty travelers and even thirstier locals. And the flies? Don't even get me started on the flies. They're as thick as the red dust that covers everything. Now, I'm not one to complain about a good time, but even I have my limits. And Alice Springs, my friends, is pushing those limits like a kangaroo on a pogo stick. It's a case of too much Outback, not enough common sense. You see, Alice Springs wasn't always this way. It was once a beacon of hope and opportunity in the heart of the Australian Outback, a place where dreams were born and nurtured, where the harshness of the desert was met with the resilience of its people. It started out as a humble telegraph station back in the 1870s, a small outpost that played a crucial role in connecting the vast and isolated regions of Australia. This station was more than just a building, it was a lifeline, a symbol of progress and communication, in an era when such things were hard to come by. The telegraph lines stretched across the unforgiving landscape, bringing news and information from distant places. It was a marvel of engineering and human determination, a testament to what could be achieved with vision and hard work. People came here with dreams of striking it rich, lured by the promise of gold and the adventure that came with it. They braved the harsh conditions, the searing heat, and the isolation, all for a chance at a better life. Some sought fortune, others sought adventure, and some were simply looking for a cold beer at the end of a long, hot day. The town's pubs became gathering places where stories were shared and dreams were kept alive. And for a while it worked. Alice Springs thrived. It became a bustling town, a hub of activity in the middle of nowhere. Businesses flourished, and the community grew stronger with each passing year. It became a hub for the cattle industry, with vast ranches spreading out across the landscape. The cattlemen and women who worked these lands were tough, resilient, and deeply connected to the land they called home. Alice Springs also became a meeting place for Aboriginal cultures, a place where ancient traditions and modern life intersected. The rich cultural heritage of the Aboriginal people added depth and meaning to the town's identity. It was a magnet for free spirits from all walks of life. Artists, adventurers, and dreamers found a home here, drawn by the town's unique blend of opportunity and challenge. But somewhere along the way things started to unravel. The prosperity that once defined Alice Springs began to fade. Businesses closed and the sense of community weakened. The dreams that had built this town started to crumble. The dreams turned to dust, just like the red earth that surrounds this town. The challenges of the Outback, once a source of strength, became obstacles too great to overcome. Alice Springs, a town born of dreams, now faces its nightmares. The problems in Alice Springs are as complex as the patterns woven into an Aboriginal dot painting. There's poverty, unemployment, and a lack of opportunities, especially for young people. Alcoholism and drug abuse are rife, casting a dark shadow over the community. The gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians is as wide as the Simpson Desert. and it's a constant source of tension and heartache. The environment, too, is feeling the strain. The harsh outback climate is unforgiving, and years of overgrazing and unsustainable practices have taken their toll. The water is scarce, the land is parched, and the future looks as bleak as a burnt-out campfire. Section 5. When the Outback bites back. It's as if the Outback itself is rebelling against the chaos. Flash floods roar through the normally dry riverbeds, catching people off guard and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Dust storms engulf the town, turning day into night and leaving a thick layer of red grime on everything. And then there's the wildlife. Kangaroos bounding through the streets might seem cute at first, but they can also be dangerous, especially when they're competing with humans for food and water. And as for the dingoes, well, let's just say you don't want to leave your Barbie unattended for too long. Section 6. Tales from the Spinifex City. Nestled in the heart of Australia, Alice Springs is a town that defies expectations. Surrounded by the vast red desert, it is a place where the landscape is as harsh as it is beautiful. The Spinifex City, as it is affectionately known, is a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. But amidst the chaos, there are still stories of resilience, of humor, and of the unbreakable spirit that defines the Australian character. The people here have a unique way of looking at life, finding joy and laughter in the most unexpected places. They are a community that comes together in times of need, supporting each other through thick and thin. Like the time a group of locals decided to hold a camel race down the main street, using their own 2 feet as transport. It was a sight to behold, with participants dressed in makeshift camel costumes running with all their might. The event brought the whole town together, with spectators cheering and laughing, creating memories that would last a lifetime. Or the annual Henley-on-Todd Regatta, where teams of intrepid, or perhaps insane competitors row their bottomless boats down the dry riverbed. This quirky event is a highlight of the year, drawing visitors from far and wide. The creativity and humor on display are a testament to the town's spirit, with participants going to great lengths to outdo each other in their boat designs and costumes. It's a spectacle that has to be seen to be believed. The atmosphere is electric, with the crowd's excitement palpable. It's a day of fun and laughter, where the community comes together to celebrate their unique way of life. And then there's the Royal Flying Doctor Service, a lifeline for those living in remote areas, who often have to fly hundreds of kilometers for medical attention. This incredible service ensures that even the most isolated communities have access to essential healthcare. The dedication and bravery of the doctors and pilots are truly inspiring, as they navigate the vast outback to reach those in need. These stories remind us that even in the toughest of times, there's still a lot to love about this crazy, mixed-up, one-of-a-kind town. Alice Springs is more than just a dot on the map. It's a place where the human spirit shines brightly, where laughter and resilience go hand in hand. It's a town that, despite its challenges, continues to thrive and inspire, proving that even in the harshest environments, life finds a way to flourish. Section 7. Can this town be tamed? So, what's the solution for Alice Springs? How do you tame a town that's as wild as the Outback itself? It's a question that's been pondered by politicians, community leaders, and barflies for years. Some say more government funding is needed to create jobs and opportunities for the locals. Others argue that the answer lies in addressing the underlying social issues such as alcohol abuse and domestic violence. And then there are those who believe that Alice Springs should just be left to its own devices, that it's always been a wild and unruly place, and that's part of its charm. Section 8. A glimmer of hope in the Outback dust. But I like to think that there's hope for Alice Springs. That beneath the dust and the dysfunction, there's a community that cares deeply about its town and its future. I've met people here who are working tirelessly to make a difference, from the teachers trying to inspire the next generation to the artists and musicians keeping the local culture alive. There's a growing awareness of the need for sustainability, both environmental and social. People are starting to realize that the future of Alice Springs depends on finding a way to live in harmony with the land and with each other. Section 9. The Outback always wins. The Outback is a harsh mistress, but it's also a place of incredible beauty and resilience. And Alice Springs, for all its flaws, is a reflection of that spirit. It's a town that's down but not out, a place where the human spirit is tested and tempered by the extremes of nature. So if you're ever looking for a real adventure, a place where the unexpected is the norm and the wild things roam free, then head on down to Alice Springs. Just be sure to pack your sense of humor, your fly net, and an open mind, because in the Outback, nothing is ever quite what it seems.